you know what to do. Hail to
Hail
the
to the
Towson
Towson Tigers.
We're to black and gold.
Fight on
Fight
for
on for
purpose, now
now
and
and
forever. Make
forever.
it all
Make
get
it
on.
all.
Fight, fight,
Fight,
fight.
fight.
Hail
Hail
to
Hail
the
to the
Towson
Towson
Tigers.
Tigers.
Stand
And
proudly
proudly
for all
for
to
all to
see.
see.
Fight,
Fight,
fight. It's the
fight,
Tigers.
Tigers,
Fight.
fight.
Lead us
Lead
to
us to
victory.
victory.
Ew. Wow, that one was
Wow.
probably the
That was
best
so
one
good.
yet, guys. Best one yet. Top tier. Okay. Alrighty. Attorney General Robinson, roll call, please.
Hi, everyone. My apologies for my camera being off. I'm kind of displaced from my home, and I will start attending. Treasurer Eagle,
Present.
Vice President DeVoe,
Present.
President DeYoung,
Present.
Chief of Staff Ambush.
Present.
My apologies. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Dr. Nduka.
Present.
Assistant Director Walton.
Present.
Assistant Director Bello.
Present.
Director Whiteside. Director Fishkim.
Present.
Director Triskaka.
Present.
Director Perot. Director Kapoor.
Present.
Assistant Director Ferguson. Solicitor General Whiting.
Present.
Director White.
Present.
Director Moody.
Present.
Director Diame.
Present.
Director Brown. Director Kemp.
Present.
Director Hogarth. Assistant Director Banks.
Present.
Thank you. Assistant Director Banks. Representative Blumenauer. Pro Temp Wheeler.
Estoy aquí. I'm here.
Senator Dixon.
Present.
Senator Watts.
Present.
Senator Kinsey.
Present.
Senator Goodman.
Estoy aquí. I'm present.
Senator Harding. Senator Tessie.
Present. I'm sorry. I said that late.
You're fine. Thank you both. Senator Teklu.
Present.
Senator Eaglin. Senator Rink.
Present.
Senator Thaxton.
Present.
Chief of Justice Foreman.
Present.
Deputy Justice Sherman.
Present.
Justice Egbunine.
Present.
Thank you, everyone.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right. We'll now move into approval of the minutes. I believe someone. I'm sorry. What's your position, Brianna?
Assistant Director of Student Organizations.
Amazing. Sorry about that. That was omitted from the roll call, Attorney General Robinson. So I'm not sure if the roster is up to date, but just wanted to let you know that she's present.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now moving to the approval of the minutes. Are there any amendments to the last meeting's minutes? Hearing none, we'll consider them approved. Are there any amendments to the agenda? All right, we'll follow the agenda as written then. We have two guest speakers today, which we're really excited about. First up is Patricia Bradley from the Title IX office. And then following Ms. Bradley, we'll have Trayvon Sawyers from Operation Donation. But the floor is all yours.
All right, now do I have access to share screen?
Yes, 1
All
second.
right. Yep, I have it. All right, now do I have access to share screen? Yes, 1 second. Yep, I have it.
Yes, 1 second.
All right. Yep, I have it. All right, so I recognize most of you from various roles and capacities. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Patricia Bradley. I am the Assistant Vice President of Equity and Compliance, and I work in the Office of Inclusion and Institutional Equity. I also serve as the Title IX Coordinator. And so I was going to give you a discussion today and an opportunity for you to ask questions regarding Title IX, but I think it's very important that I just give you an overall view of what our office does in addition to Title IX, not just Title IX. So I want to just kind of let you know what we do, what my role is, and what some of my my staff does in the office. So we're the Office of Inclusion and Institutional Equity. I specifically, when I describe our office, I like to tell people that we kind of have two sides of the office. One side is the equity and compliance side that investigates all complaints of discrimination, which is my side. And then our other side is the side that really focuses on diversity in our campus community, inclusion, programming, training, all of that. So I have my hands in both sides, but equity and compliance is my main general area. So let me get this slide to advance. All right. So when I talk about discrimination and protected classes, just to let you know that these are the federal protected classes. That's whenever you hear anyone talk about race, color, religion, national origin, sex, those are all your protected classes. State law sometimes will differ and they won't have all of those federal listed classes, but for the state of Maryland and by university policy, not only do we recognize those listed protected classes, but we also consider sexual orientation, marital status, and ancestry as a part of a protected class. So by policy and by state law, we can address those if there are violations or anyone is being discriminated against because of any of those classes. All right, so what is discrimination? It's unequal or unfair treatment of a person based on one of those physical characteristics or traits. So when someone is treating you differently because of the way you look or where you're from or what your sexual orientation is, or maybe your ability, that you may be being discriminated against. So discrimination, normally you see it occurring in education and housing and employment. And so we focus on the educational aspects of discrimination in any federal or university, whether it's a university that's a private or a state-funded university. If it's a private university and they receive any type of federal funds, they are still subject to the discrimination laws. So two of the laws that I have on this slide are Title VI and Title VII. When we talk about Title VI, that's the education law component. So any university, like I said, that's receiving any federal assistance, they are prohibited from discriminating pursuant to Title VI. Then you have Title VII. Title VII is the employment law. So any agency that is discriminating against someone because of any of those protected classes that I previously listed, if they discriminate in any type of employment in terms of hiring, in their employment application, terminating, firing, that could be a Title VII violation. So I'm kind of giving you a class now on all discrimination law, but I think you might find it kind of interesting. So you've got Title VI and then you've got Title VII. The next one is Title IX. So Title IX is the one that many of you are familiar with, and that is the gender discrimination law. So Title IX was implemented back in 1972. So the law has been around for a long time, but it wasn't until around 2010 that the federal government under President Obama's administration, Department of Education and Office of Civil Rights said, you know what, Title IX in its traditional focus area, it focused on equality in sports and the opportunity for women in education. But then in 2010, there was an interpretation change and it said, okay, you know what, it also should address sexual assault and sexual harassment in the campus environment. So that's the Title IX that many of you are familiar with now as it pertains to sexual harassment and sexual assault. So we went over Title VI, Title VII, and Title IX. Also in our office, we have the Americans with Disabilities Act. Any university or any agency, state or federal, that violates the Americans with Disability Act, meaning that any student or any staff member or anyone from our university community that may have a disability, if we deny them access to either a classroom setting, for instance, if we don't have elevators in a building and it's not accessible by the handicap, or if our sidewalks you have to have a certain width of the sidewalks, accessibility for our sidewalks, accessibility in buildings. For disability, if we have a student who is hearing impaired, if we don't offer them assistance in the classroom by the way of an interpreter, a ASL interpreter, or if there's a blind student in the classroom, if we don't provide benefits to these students with disabilities and don't give them equal access to an education, then we're a violation of the Americans with Disability Act. All right, so what is our response to discrimination? All things discrimination. So we have a couple of policies. The first policy is policy 06-01.00. That's the policy prohibiting discrimination. And I'm not going to read it, but you can just quickly look at that policy, what it prohibits. So discriminating against anyone is bad, right? So we don't like it. We have a policy in place, but we also have our office in place to investigate when discrimination occurs. So what is our response to gender discrimination? Our response to gender discrimination is pursuant to Title IX, and not only the federal law, Title IX, which is the Education Amendment Act of 1972, but university policy. So what you have is you have a federal law that's Title IX and a university policy. So federal Title IX laws have changed over the years. We had a big change over the summer because of the former presidential administration who changed Title IX and a lot of the requirements under Title IX. Most significantly, if we have a hearing amongst students for a Title IX violation, these students are, they have a right, or some can say are subjected to what's called a live hearing. And in a live hearing, there's cross-examination. That didn't exist before. That's one of the most concerning changes, I think, of all the changes that occurred over Title IX because of the past administration. But just yesterday, President Biden, he signed a resolution. And the resolution is to address the changes in Title IX. It may take a while before them to go back to the previous Title IX before some of these changes were implemented. But right now, that federal law still stands. But in addition to the federal law, we have our university policy that addresses it. So we protect all students against any type of sex-based discrimination. And so that's what you're familiar with. So what is your role? You guys as SGA, I think some of you, maybe all of you as with your official title, you may be quote unquote employees of the university. So we have, we talk about employees of the university, that employees are responsible parties, and that if you know or should have known anything regarding a Title IX violation, you're obligated to report it to my office. However, you guys are in a kind of gray area, because though you're employed by the university, oftentimes students also are going to have a peer relationship with you. And so the federal law no longer requires you to report it to Title IX. Our policy still says any employee of the university will report it to our office. However, I will just tell you up front, if you as a student, if you have a relationship with another student and a student discloses something to you and you know that they're disclosing it to you because of your friendship and not because of your role as an SGA representative, you would not be responsible for reporting it to our office. If it's because of your friendship, and you can say, they told me as my friend, not as my role as SGA, then you're not mandated by policy or law to report it to us. However, what we do want you to do is offer peer support and let them know what their resources are. Let them know where our office is and let them know that they can come to us. Let them know that we're neutral parties, that we will investigate if they choose to go forward with an investigation. But if they don't want to investigate, they don't have to have it investigated, but they can just come to us for resources, because our main goal is that our students know that they're not alone in it and that they have somewhere to report it, that we can give them resources for someone to talk to in counseling, or if they need assistance with any type of accommodations, that's what our office is there for. So what does Title IX prohibit? Sexual harassment, sex discrimination, retaliation, stalking is a big one, cyber stalking, dating violence. A lot of students are like, dating violence, domestic violence, oh, that's for old married couples. It happens so much on our university campus. Dating violence can be opposite sex, same sex, just anyone in a dating relationship Relationships are hard. And, you know, we understand that. I understand that. You know, I'm a mother of 2 teenagers, and I understand, you know, I hope that they feel that they can come to me and talk to me about situations that they may be going through. But I was once a college student too. And so I understand that, you know, one day you might love someone and the next day you might want to, you know, your feelings change. I'll leave it at that. Your feelings change from day to day sometimes. Relationships are sometimes fluid. And because they're fluid and things occur, we just want people to know that even in a dating relationship on our campus, if you're in a dating relationship that's going bad, you can get counseling from our counseling center just to how to manage your relationship, how to manage anger issues. And this is one area that I'm very passionate about. Some of you who may have heard me speak before, you may know a little bit of my history in terms of I'm a trained lawyer, but I've started working in higher ed probably about 6-7 years ago now. But when I was a senior in college, one of my very, very, very good friends was killed by her boyfriend during spring break. And I saw her right before spring break. She told me she was breaking up with him. I knew he was no good for her. I was glad that she was breaking up for him. We went our separate ways for spring break. I went home to North Carolina. She was from South Carolina, but decided to stay in DC. And on my way back home after spring break, started getting messages. And by the time I got on campus, and this was before cell phones, so predating myself, but by the time I got on campus, I found out that her boyfriend had shot her 10 times and killed her, shot her roommate. Her roommate survived, barricaded himself in the dorm, and the campus police ended up confronting him and killing him. So I share that with you to say that right now, when you look at our statistics on campus in terms of, you know, the highest number of incidents that are occurring, we do have incidents of sexual violence and dating violence and rape, but we have a very, very large number of dating violence and domestic violence and stalking and cyber stalking. So I want you all to be aware of that and know that that is something that can be reported to us as well, and we can get you some help. And when I say you, I mean all of our campus, because you're a representative of our campus, and I want to make sure that you're sharing this resource with your fellow students to let them know that we are here to take complaints, to investigate complaints, and to just provide resources when necessary. All right, so what does Title IX again protect? Sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, citizenship status. We assist students with interim measures. If there is a Title IX incident and it's reported to our office and a student lives in the dorm and they don't feel safe in their dorm, if they request to be moved, we can offer assistance with that, with getting them relocated to a safer space. If there's an incident where there's a risk to that student or others, the responding student may be moved into another location until the hearing is held, or an investigation and hearing. Title IX deals with pregnancy as well. So if a student is pregnant on our college campus, whether it's the student or the partner, we offer accommodations, because obviously with pregnancy, there are a lot of missed class times. So we can offer the student the opportunity to consult with their faculty members to get additional time for class projects, class assignments, during the pregnancy, when they're going to be out of school for a period of time for pregnancy, for both them and their partner. If their partner is also a student, they will be allowed accommodations and excused absences for class. So we also connect our students with campus partners, with our health center, counseling center, off campus as well, through turnaround, legal services, safe exams. Safe exam is what's also known as a rape kit test. A student can go get a safe exam for free at Greater Baltimore Hospital. And so we will, provide students with those resources as well, to make sure that they know that, even if they decide not to report it to Title IX, that they can still go have a safe exam just to preserve evidence, just in case they decide later on they want to go forward with a criminal complaint. And so one point that I didn't make with you, I always want to make sure everyone knows there are 3 places where students can report. Just always keep that in mind. If you don't remember anything else from my little presentation today, remember, if it's a Title IX case dealing with sex assault or rape, 3 places that a student can report. The first place is the counseling center. If you report to the counseling center, that's a confidential report. The counseling center will not give me your name, will not give me a report. They won't disclose it to anyone. That's for a student that just wants to go to the counseling center to get support and resources from them. So first one is counseling center. The second one is my office, the Title IX office. That's where you file an administrative report. That's where we investigate whether there was an administrative violation of policy. So violation of policy means that if there's a violation of policy and there's a finding against a student, that student can maybe be expelled or suspended or given some type of other punishment. But that's an administrative action against them. The third and final way to report is to report to TUPD or the local police. That's a criminal report. Only through the criminal report will an individual who was found responsible get jail time. So you don't get jail time from the administrative report that's filed in my office, okay? So a lot of students, they think, oh, I don't want to report it because I don't want this person to go to jail. You don't go to jail for reporting to our office. We're purely administrative. The criminal component is reporting to the TUPD or Baltimore County Police. So again, interim measures, that's on a case-by-case basis, including deadlines, or get extensions to deadlines, allowing students to make up missed exams, extra credit assignments. Sometimes we may recommend to a student that they take an incomplete so that they can have additional time at the end of the semester to complete their work, or oftentimes it may be a withdrawal. They may need to withdraw from the course completely without penalty, which means that oftentimes that we might be able to negotiate a refund in some of their tuition if they have to do a withdrawal before completion of the semester. All right, real quickly too, our office, we respond to hate crimes and bias incidents. So we just hired a new coordinator for our hate bias crimes and our hate crimes and bias incidents. Her name is Mercedes Hightower. They just started working for us right before the pandemic started. So many of you have not had an opportunity to meet her. She is absolutely phenomenal. You will love her when you meet her. We can't wait till you get back on campus so that you can meet her. But we've hired someone specifically in our office to respond to hate crimes and bias incidents. During another session, if necessary, if you all want to call me back, we can go over the whole hate bias, the purview of what's considered a hate crime and what's considered a bias incident, but just know that we do have someone solely dedicated to that position in our office now. So if you are called to respond to or manage any type of bias incident as a student leader, your safety is paramount. We don't want you to get involved in such a way that your safety might be at risk. If you see that, it could be a violent situation, call TUPD. Don't try to disrupt it yourselves. That's not what your role is. We want to focus on the facts of the situation. We want to make it clear that we don't tolerate hate and bias. We want to make it clear that our office is there to address those issues. We want to listen, acknowledge the feelings. So oftentimes when there's a hate and bias incident or bias incident specifically that occurs on campus, it may not rise to the level of a policy violation, but even when there's no violation, even though when no one can be found responsible for violating our policy, we have to acknowledge the feelings, the impact that it has on our campus community. And so that's one of the things that I'm working with Mercedes now, because we were having a discussion today, because recently we have had quite a few bias incidents reported. And a lot of times it feels like we're always telling people, the offender, what the impact of their action is, how it makes people feel, but there's never any reconciliation, because they can't be held accountable if there's no policy violation. But yet and still, members of our community are being hurt by their actions. So we got to figure out a way to reconcile that. And so that's something that we're working on, and making sure that we support the people that are impacted. All right, so our investigative procedures. Once anything is reported, whether it's a discrimination case or whether it's a hate bias incident, we're going to email and respond to the reporting party, let them know that we received the report. We're going to give the party an option whether or not they want to have the incident investigated. All parties that are involved in the case, whether it's the reporting party or the respondent, they're going to be allowed to have a support person, and now pursuant to the new Title IX regulations, an advisor as well, to attend any related meetings and any hearings. For reporting parties, just know also that if it's a sexual misconduct case, if the victim was under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time of the incident, they're not going to be investigated for the code of conduct student violation. So if they feel like, oh, I can't report it because I was drinking and I'm underage, or I wasn't supposed to be drinking, that doesn't matter to us. We're not going to investigate that. And then also retaliation. If you are a witness to an incident, or if you are a victim to an incident, anyone who reports an incident, they can feel free to report it without being retaliated against. If someone retaliates against you for reporting to university officials, then that's going to be a part of our investigative process as well. And that could additionally lead to some type of charge pursuant to the Code of Student Conduct for retaliating against others for reporting something that may be happening on our campus. All right, so once the formal complaint is filed and we respond, I have 4 investigators that are assigned to my office. Those investigators, they will take the lead on the case. They're going to call witnesses. They're going to interview people. They're going to gather facts, gather evidence. Our standard of proof, because it's administrative. So the difference, any of you criminal law majors may be familiar with the difference in terms of standard procedures. If it's an administrative procedure, the standard of proof is preponderance of evidence. If it's a criminal procedure, it's beyond reasonable doubt. So standard of evidence, preponderance of evidence is a lower standard of proof. It's very hard to prove someone is in violation of a criminal law because it's beyond reasonable doubt. But our standard of proof is preponderance of evidence. So we're going to have a hearing in front of 3 panel members. The panel members are going to hear the evidence that the investigator presents, and they're going to determine whether or not by preponderance of evidence, it's more likely than not that someone violated our campus policy. And if they violated our campus policy, the notice of finding is going to be sent to the responding parties. And then if it's a student conduct will determine what the sanction is. If it's a staff member, human resources is going to determine what the sanction is going to be. And if it's a faculty member, the provost's office will determine what the sanction is going to be. So there are 3 different sanctioning parties that are involved in these cases, depending on who the respondent is. So where do you report all of this? This is, if anyone wants to screenshot, this is the page to screenshot. Reporting hate crimes and bias incidents. You can report it to the campus police. You can contact our office online or email us. You can telephone us directly. Even though we're not in the office right now, this line rings directly to my office here at home. So I will get any of your calls where you're reporting incidents. Also, let's see what else. There's an app for that. So any of you who have downloaded the Title IX or the Towson University app on your cell phones, if you click on Title IX, it will be in the bottom right-hand corner. It will take you to all of the resources that you need for our Title IX office. All right. And I know I kind of breezed through all of this, a lot of information, but I just really want you to really get a clear understanding of what our office is there for, what we do. We do a lot of stuff in terms of investigations, but then also prevention. My goal is to prevent any of this from ever having to go to investigation. And the only way I can prevent it is by making sure that as a deterrent, maybe some students realize that, you know, if it does come to our office and they're investigated, the potential is that they could be either suspended or expelled. And maybe as a deterrent, that will make them second or reconsider engaging in any activity that might be a violation of our policy. All right, subject to your questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have some activity in the chat, but I wanted to just issue a general apology just because I know that many of us are familiar with the nature of what the Title IX office as well as OIE do. But I apologize if that was triggering for anybody. I didn't really give too much of a heads up on that, so I sincerely apologize for that. But in the future, that won't happen. I'll let you all know in advance. But we have one question from Kristen. So private institutions are exempt from Title VII.
Private institutions would only be exempt if they are not receiving federal funds. So there are some private institutions that would be religious schools. If they're not receiving federal funding, they are exempt. And for employment purposes, there are very few agencies that would be exempt from Title VII and employment, whether they're private or federal, because the federal government would step in, and that would be a federal law that would prevent discrimination from even a private employer.
Okay, thank you so much. Did that answer your question, Kristen? Well, I hope that it did. There's also a point of information from, hold on, I'm trying to see who was first. Director White.
Okay, you see me.
Hi. So I actually had two questions. My first question is, I understand that there are sometimes changes in terms of legislation centered around Americans with disabilities and also accessibility. And I was wondering if you all had any like short summary or like anything that people, like students specifically with disabilities, can refer to when kind of understanding any legislation that is impacting them, or even any legislation that may be voted on soon that is impacting them, because I do understand that like disability rights and disability and access to disability rights is sometimes like really up in the air depending upon, you know, the level of government we're operating in. So I was wondering if you all had any information that students can like access easily to kind of stay up to date on that.
Yes, so I guess maybe 2 years ago, the accessibility services used to be called disability support services. They used to report directly to student affairs. They now fall under us. So disability support services falls under us. And we also have an ADA coordinator assigned to our office. The ADA coordinator is Lauren Evans. And we do on our website have some information, but accessible on our website is all of her contact information. So should a student have a question in terms of accessibility, they could either go to Disability Support Services or to our office to get updated information.
Okay, and I have another question. In terms of the withdrawal being on someone's transcript, I know this because I recently like began applying for grad school, and so W's are sometimes understood differently by different institutions.
Yes.
And so is that kind of like a nationwide rule that if you withdraw from a class at a university, they have to document it as a withdrawal, or is that something that SGA can do in terms of passing legislation that says if you had to withdraw from a class because of sexual harassment, because of any type of harassment that has been documented by your office, then you will not necessarily get a W on your transcript. Instead, there will be some type of other option for you so that you are not being academically penalized on your transcript.
Right. I don't know. I think that's more of a question, I think, for the registrar's office, how they would classify that. I know for most students, if it's any way possible, if it's before the add drop date, we'll pursue the drop on the class. But for the withdrawal, I know I recently dealt with that with a student, and even though we were able to refund all of the tuition, I'm pretty sure that still in the transcript it showed a withdrawal, but I'm not sure if there's any annotation. I think there may be an annotation that says withdrawal, and I think the language is something like withdrawal without penalty. But let me check with the registrar's office, and then I can I'll shoot you a message and you can share it with the group. But let me write that down. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the annotation says withdrawal without penalty. So then a gaining school, if someone were to transfer or to apply to grad school or law school and they would look at the transcript, they would know that it's without penalty. So it was for no fault of the student that they had to withdraw.
Okay.
DMA, did you want to add to that?
Thank you for your answer, Dr.
Okay,
Griffin.
no worry. And I will email you back and let you know to make sure.
She's like right with that too, with the annotation part, but also like if you submit it to the academic standards committee, you could get the W removed if it pertain to like certain events that happen to you. Like if you have like proof of it and then you like submit like the correct paperwork, the academic standards committee could remove it. So there's like different like things that they could do if it comes to like applying to grad school or like anything else like that.
Thank you so much for that information, Director DMA.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that answer. Pro Temp Wheeler, you had a question as well.
Yes. You might have like answered this question earlier. I'm not sure. My internet was going in and out and my audio was acting up as well. But my question is, if we have somebody tell us something as a friend, like they just want to like get something off their chest, let us know what might have happened to them. And like you said, as a friend, we aren't necessarily obligated to report it. But if we recommend them to report it and they're just kind of like hesitant about it because not everybody wants to report certain things, like, and we wouldn't want to force them to do something they wouldn't want to do or go behind their back and still report it even though we don't have to. So what would we do in that type of situation? Should we just recommend like other places they could go to or other things they could do?
Yeah, I would say that, first try to make sure you differentiate and, say, okay, I understand we're friends. And if you're coming to me in my SGA capacity, let them know up front. If you're coming in my SGA capacity as a member of the student government, then I would need to report it to Title IX, and I can report it to Title IX with you. I can go with you. I can just give you the information where you can report it. But if they're approaching you as a friend, again, the federal law, and that is one, I will say that is one area in the federal law where the change back in 2020 was a good change, in that it said that you're no longer required by federal law as an employee of the university to report it to Title IX. Our policy says that you are, but I will assure you that from a policy perspective, if you as an SGA member, now that would be different if it was a faculty member. You as SGA, you play a dual role. You're both an employee, but you're also peers to the rest of the student population. So if you as an SGA member declined to report it to our office because you were respecting that person's privacy, you would not be found in violation of university policy as an employee for not reporting it. That's one of those areas that I, as a Title IX coordinator, would have discretion, and I would be able to look at it and say, no, I'm not going to hold this person responsible because they didn't report it to my office. I think I could read between the lines and say that they're responding to this student in their role as a friend, as opposed to their role as an employee of the university. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, Ms. Bradley, if you would mind just putting your contact information in the chat would be awesome.
Absolutely.
I know you had it in the presentation, but if you all have any other questions, feel free to contact her. She's an amazing resource as well. But yes, we are going to then move forward to Operation Donation. And Ms. Bradley, I'd like to let campus partners know you don't need to stay for the duration of the meeting. If you're curious to know what we're doing, feel free to stay, but don't feel obligated to do so.
No, thank you for having me. And I would like to reiterate, thank you for giving the trigger warning, even though it was after the fact. I hope that this wasn't triggering for anyone to the point that that has impacted the rest of your session for today, but it is a very serious topic. We are here. So if it did trigger anyone, I do apologize. And if you need to talk after hours, this number 704-2361, you can ring at any time of the day and it'll ring here at my desk right here at home. So I'm here for you. All right. Thank you
so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
All right. You too.
All right. Trayvon, if you are ready, the floor is all yours.
All right. Thank you. I want to thank y'all for taking the time to listen and hear me out today. So it's called Operation Donation. It is something, the name might not be the coolest, but it's easy to remember and it's catchy. The reason I wanted to name it that is because, I'm not trying to keep this as a college movement. I want families involved and whoever else you can get involved. So I want it to be memorable. So let's get into it. Operation Donation is strictly about supporting the families in Texas. I'm sure you either heard about what happened in Texas or are familiar with what's going on. If not, the area was kind of overwhelmed with some snowstorms and it displaced a lot of families. So I put together this community service project, and I partnered with the American Red Cross in the Baltimore area and the North Texas Food Bank to kind of send sort of like care packages down there. So with the reason that there's two organizations that I partner with is because there's a physical aspect and then there's a online aspect, because I'm aware being on campus right now that no one's here. You know what I'm saying? So the American Red Cross is the physical aspect. So that's where we're donating non-perishable items, things like, whether it's helping with COVID or the weather or, household necessities that you feel like they may need. I set up donation boxes in the administration building, University Union, and West Village Commons, where you could, donate those things for me to pick up at the end of the week. And then I'll take them to the Red Cross location for them to have sent down to the Texas location, and then they'll sort it out and, take it to where it needs to be. For the online aspect, it is a QR code. I'm gonna pull up the flyer at the end, but I wanted to connect. That's why there's no flyer right now. But there's a QR code on the flyer, and that QR code is to a Amazon registry that the North Texas Food Bank created. And there's a list of items that you can purchase and have sent directly to the food bank, and it goes to help these families. It's a resource to help these families. But I wanted that aspect of it because, like I said, there's not a lot of people here, and if you're not close to campus, I would not blame you for not driving an hour and a half if you live in PG to come drop off some items in the boxes. So I wanted to have an online aspect to it so people could do it from home and just support in whatever capacity they can. Trying to think, anything else I can think of? As far as the physical part of it, donations, I'm asking that they be either dry clean, new, and packaged, simply because we don't want to send down used items, because those might not actually be beneficial to the process that we're trying to do here. And I've also asked a couple other student organizations, simply because I think it's power in numbers, and the more people I can get involved, the larger impact we can have. But like I said at the start, I don't want this to just be a Towson thing. It's a community thing for me. It's about helping those who would help us if we were in the same situation. So can I share my screen to show y'all a flyer real quick? Cool. All right, I usually don't do this, so you gotta give me a second. All right. Can y'all see that?
Yep,
Cool.
you're good.
All right, so this is the flyer. As you see at the top, I wanted to be for the month of March. So we've already started, but at the end of each week, like last week, I checked all donation boxes, picked up what I could, and then I took it to the location. People have been donating using the QR code. Yeah, this is kind of where like I try to put all essential information that might be needed to accomplish the goal. There isn't a certain numerical goal that I'm trying to reach. The goal is just to help. But yeah, so what I would like from you guys is the promotion behind it, the backing of it. I pretty much have the physical aspect of flyers up, locations to donate, and I'm getting my network involved. But, as being a part of the Towson community, you guys have a larger reach, larger pool than I have. And I feel like, you guys saying, hey, this is something you guys should pay attention to would just be beneficial, what I'm saying? And it's something that I feel like you guys can get behind. So yeah, I really, structure-wise, it's set up, it's already running. I really just want would like the help in promotion and getting the message out there so we can get people participate. How do I stop this? Oh, that button. Okay. Do you guys have any questions for me? Anything you need me to clarify?
I know in the chat someone mentioned, I don't know if you're familiar with Towson University's Northeastern campus, but we do have another location under the university, and someone mentioned having a box there. I know we have a representative. I don't know if she's here today, but if you'd be open to doing that, I'm sure that would be a great way to expand the impact of it.
Hi, Becky's not here today. I'm here. I'm Chrissy.
Hey.
I'm the vice chair. So hi.
Hi. If you want to connect with Trayvon, am I pronouncing your name correctly? I hope. Okay, great. Awesome. If you want to connect with him, that'd be awesome. If you guys want to set up a box as well. And if you could email us the flyer, Trayvon, at sja@towson.edu. If you could send us the flyer again, that'd be awesome too, so we can share it and promote it. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. I know all of us, I speak for everyone in saying that, you know, we love to see students doing things in the community. But if anyone has any questions, now would be the time to ask. If not, okay, point of information from Senator Dixon or a question? Yeah.
Hi, Trayvon. I think what you're doing is amazing. I think it's going to help so many families. And the one question that I do have is for the online giving, is that like you basically order an item and that like notification gets sent to you guys and then you fulfill, like you receive the package, like, but we just pay for it? Or is it like I order it, it comes to my house, and then what do I do with it? Like,
yeah, so it's actually a lot simpler than that. So you've ordered packages from Amazon, I'm sure. But when you go to the checkout and you select the shipping address, there's a address for the North Texas Food Bank. And you just click on it.
Awesome. Okay.
You go straight down there, so you don't have to worry about it no more after you purchase it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Can you send your email address also, Trayvon, just in the chat? If you could type it, that'd be awesome too. And Director White, point of information.
Yes. First of all, great work. Second of all, I was also wondering if you had partnered with any other organizations, because I know that in addition to us being a part of SGA, a lot of people also are part of their own specific organizations that do community service and work in Towson.
Yeah, so I've also partnered with AK-SI. I don't want to get the term wrong, so I'm gonna just leave it with the abbreviation that I know. I don't want to disrespect nobody's stuff, but I partnered with AK-SI and the National Pan-Hellenic Council. So that would be all of the Black sorority and fraternities on campus. To also spread the message, I have to, finish a little bit of details, have a couple meetings like this one for everything to really get rolling. But because I wanted it to be for the month of March, and because I didn't want it to be too far removed from what just happened, I had to already get it started. So I'm hoping that, regardless of the time frame, it won't be, too late to get people involved, because I understand that processes have to happen.
And are you all accepting any cash donations? So if somebody isn't, I understand that like you can donate it to the food bank and like have it delivered, but if you say if you may want to like, I don't know, donate a coat or just like something that's not food or something like that, do you all accept cash donations? Or are you partnering with like any clothing banks or anything like that?
So I didn't set up a cash option because that can be a little tricky for some people.
Yeah.
Over the phone. Like if you know me, okay, you might be more comfortable saying, here, go do this for your organization. But giving me money and you don't know me is a little hesitant, and I wanted to promote as much interaction as possible. So I left it strictly to food and clothing. The food is the longer of the list and more of the priorities, simply because a lot of those things are starting to get fixed. You gotta remember that happened in early February. So we're here in March. A lot of the snow's gone, so they don't need
coats and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but they need like water, because a lot of families don't have running water.
Okay.
and foods because their refrigeration isn't working. So things like that. So I did it based off priority when I looked up, what families in Texas would need right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? I see that SEO, Student Environmental Organization, is that right, Senator Goodman?
That is
Yes.
correct. That is correct.
Okay, awesome. Would be open to
We're
partnering.
happy to help get the word out in that regard. We are, really, it's, after all, it wasn't like, it was like an environmental catastrophe that, that caused this. So, we really need to get the word out to really help.
That's great. That's awesome. You all definitely make that connection. Point of information from Senator Rink.
Hi, first of all, I think this is awesome. So just keep doing what you're doing. I love it. I am the president of my sorority, and we're actually looking for something to do for Tigerthon, or not Tigerthon, the big event. And I was wondering, since you can choose like your own personal, like your organization itself for the big event can find a service event to complete on their own. And I was wondering if, like, Corey, this is probably a question more for you, if this would be something that like would count for that, or should I email Ashley Huff about it? Or
I would say email Chris Rendosh. I'm not sure. So I would just say, just go that route, and then we can take it from there. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Any last comments or concerns? Feel free to email Trayvon if you have any other questions or your organizations want to be involved. But yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for spending time with us today and bringing us up to speed on what you're doing. We're very proud of you as a Tiger. But yeah, that's pretty much it if no one has any other things, but feel free to excuse yourself or stay as long as you'd like.
All right. I want to say thank you again for taking the time to listen to me, and for everyone who wants, a bite of the apple and wants to help with your organizations. Feel free to email me. This is not a limit. Like I said, it's not just a Towson thing. I want to just go as far as possible. So send it to your organizations, however many you're in. Let's get moving. Thank you.
All right. Yes. Send your email in the chat before you go if you're going. I see a couple of people asking for your information. If you haven't already, there are a lot of comments. But anyway, we'll now move into communications. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. Oh, excuse me, I skipped something. Do we have any public participation or student concerns today? Okay, now we'll move into communications. Advisors' remarks.
Yeah, can you give me just a space to share the screen just because I like to do that? Not because it's okay, can't do that just yet. But in the meantime, good to see everybody. Hope all of you are doing well. I have several remarks because we're getting ready for a period of time when it's going to get a little bit busy, not just from a programmatic perspective, but just some of the things that you'll hear me talk about for just a minute. So hopefully at this point, we are able to, there we go. All right, so from my desk, first and foremost, you're coming up on spring break. I hope you all are going to be able to take the time that you need to kind of just recharge. There's been a lot going on, and it's important for you all to get the relaxation and all that kind of stuff. So this is more for the internal organization as opposed to the external community that might be a part of this. Post spring break, for the directors in particular and senators, please remember that the term doesn't end until we have that transition from one administration to the other. So there's still going to be work that needs to be done, but you all have been doing a good job, and so the hope is that you will continue to have that same sense of energy, or if anything, have more energy coming out of spring break. So just remember, there's still work to be done. So stay committed to the organization. For those of you that are paid in these roles, make sure to fill out your timesheets. The university's unveiled a new timesheet look and system and stuff like that. So if you haven't already gotten used to that, please do that so that we can get you paid on time. If you have any questions, contact Vicky, and I made sure to include her email address in there. There is a facilities master planning process that is beginning now, that it will take some time, and we want to have SGA representatives within this administration to be a part of that process. So executives, I reached out to you to just say, hey, can we get some folks? And then we'll take it from there. But it will be really good, at least within this next 2 months or 2.5 months, to have the current administration part of that process, and then the following administration will make sure that we get them involved as well. Sorry, I skipped over one thing. TU4U, for those of you that don't know, every spring the university has a major recruiting event, and it's titled TU4U. And it brings in people from all different parts of the state and the surrounding states, and people that are really interested in our institution, primarily students, obviously. So there's not a lot of information I can share with you right now, but I will say that when the time comes and I bring this back up, and I probably will do it through the executive branch, I will make sure to just convey the message that it's really important that SGA is involved. And the reason I'm bringing it to this forum is because student organizations also are part of that process. So it's a major recruiting event, and so we'll see where things go. And it may look a little bit differently this year because of everything that we've been talking about all year long as it relates to COVID and stuff like that. So but I think it's really important for you all to be on the lookout for how SGA can assist the institution with attracting new students, whether it be freshmen, transfers, or however they identify in that capacity. So, but SGA has a pretty vital role in this. And for, when it comes to the student organizations, those entities really do sell what Towson's all about. So there's more to come on that front. Campus employment, I think it's really important to just note that there are opportunities now that are open, and they are consistently open over the course of the year, but they're becoming more open now because we've gone through what we've gone through with the pandemic and stuff like that. So there are departments that are really looking to hire more students, get more students involved. By now, hopefully you've seen those things. Continue to check Handshake and other things like that, so that you are in the know as it relates to potential employment opportunities. And again, that's not just for SGA, that's for everyone listening in. So please check in, because there are departments that are looking for very talented and engaging students. 2021 elections. It's crazy to start thinking about this now, right? We're pre-spring break, and then the next time we see each other will be post-spring break. And it's like, you would think like a whole lot of things have changed, but really not, because we're at that point of, we need to think about the next steps. And so I've laid out some tentative dates. These are not firm. Okay, for everyone that's listening, these are not firm dates, but I'm putting them out there because we're almost at that point where they will be firm. So for those of you within the organization that are thinking about potentially moving into another role, whether it be the executive branch or whatever role that you want to fill within the next administration, start, honing in on these things, or these dates will become firm. And so you need to think about, okay, what I'm going to do. Like, how are you going to prioritize your time so that you are ready for the election process? This is not to take away from the 100th administration in terms of what the work that you still need to do. It's just that as an advisor, as someone that's thinking ahead, I want to make sure that we don't just bombard you with this information at the last minute. So those are the dates that are right now on our tentative calendar. They may adjust because of, just things that may come up, but I'm pretty sure they're going to stay that way. Now, for those of you that are not going to move on with the organization, and in terms of like running for a position or anything like that, it is now the time to start thinking about the transition. What can you put in place to help the person that follows you be successful in the role that they will feel that you are currently filling? That is a critical element of leadership, and it's a critical component of the longevity and success of Student Government Association as we move forward. So please, for those of you that are not considering running, thinking about how you will set the next person up for success is really, really helpful. So 2021 elections are coming. And it doesn't mean that we're not, valuing you all for what the work that you're doing, but it's just really important that we think ahead. So thank you for all that. Thank you for giving me the time. And with that, I yield.
Thank you so much. And just for the sake of time, if you all have any questions about that, feel free to contact Advisor Bailey. He's always accessible and around. But yeah, all right. And I believe it is the Appropriations Committee. Yes.
No report.
Government Operations Committee. No report. And Rules Committee.
Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. I just want to let you all know that Rules Committee will be reviewing CAB's spending/financial policy on Thursday after pre-meeting.
Awesome. And just so you know, Pro Temp Wheeler, just a reminder, the election policy will need to be reviewed by the Senate also. I'm sure you're aware of that, but just to remind you. And just a shameless plug, our Senate leadership team is anxious to review your legislation. So please propose legislation. And even if you're not in the Senate, we would love to have more bills take place in the spring. So just know that they're anxious to review them. Their committees are just on the edge of their seats. Anywho, all right, President Dion.
Hi, everybody. I've been following up on several initiatives that I can't speak on just yet, but once I get more information, I will update you all. And that's all I have for you today. With that, I yield.
All righty, Treasurer Eagle.
Hi, everyone. My report's kind of short this week, but the Senate should be on the lookout for emails from me starting after spring break, just about the website and how to get that information out to student organizations. But with that, that's it. I yield.
Great. Thank you so much, Attorney General Robinson.
Hi everyone, happy Tiger Tuesday. So I'm not sure if you guys saw our beautiful flyer on the Instagram about some more services that we want to provide as a judicial branch. But if you know any student organizations that would be able to be helped by our services, please feel free to let us know. If you haven't seen the post, please take a look at it. Also, if you do come to GA or pre-meeting, or GA actually, yes, GA after roll call, if you could please let me know if you're present in the chat so you do not get marked absent. I would really appreciate it. And with that, I yield.
So sorry. All right, Pro Temp Wheeler also said that they'll be reviewing the CAB. I'm sorry, I can't read. Give me a minute. They'll be reviewing CAB and the election policy on Thursday as well. Whew, all righty. Chief of Staff Ambush.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. So I am going to keep this short. Number one, there is a form for senior stoles for SJ members. So if you're a senior, that means graduating this spring or this upcoming fall. Please fill that out. The deadline is I think the first Tuesday after we come back from spring break. But if everyone can fill it out, honestly, before spring break, that would be very helpful to me and Director Whiteside. Next, we are going to have superlatives soon for the end of the year SGA get together thing. So on Thursday, we're going to introduce things like superlatives and end of the year SGA awards. So that form will go out on Thursday and I'll talk more about it during pre-meeting. Senator Goodman, to answer your question, currently they're in the process of actually being paid for. So once that is finished, everyone should get it hopefully by the end of by mid-April, hopefully. Let's see. This upcoming Thursday, we have a pre-meeting with America Vista. The speaker, Tiara, she is a SG alum, so I'm very, very excited about it. She sent me some things she wanted everyone to look at before Thursday, so that email will be going out to everyone in SJ very soon. During spring break, relax, don't worry about SJ stuff. Exec will still be doing stuff over spring break and maybe one or two other SJ members, but for the most part, take a break, take a breather, go do whatever you want during spring break. Marketing and communications wanted me to remind everyone, please fill out those marketing proposals sooner rather than later. And make sure you do the one that's on band. It just makes everything go so much smoothly. One last personal thing I wanted everyone to know, it is the end of the year, like Advisor Bailey said. This is also the time where university committees will conveniently be like, we'll talk about this next year. So if you have an initiative and you're working with a partner at the university, and they're just conveniently wrapping things up at the end of the year, there have been times where the university will wait SJ out and then hope that SJ forgets next year. So if you have an initiative, please make sure that in your transition materials, you outline this is stuff you're working on, the university committed to working on it next year. So whoever has your position next year after elections can make sure they follow up on everything that's happening. Don't let the university forget all the progress they're doing. And with that, I yield.
I love you, Olivier. All righty, Department of Academic Affairs.
Hey guys, so just a couple of things. This week I've had meetings with the Academic Standards Committee and the Curriculum Committee. So just a reminder, if you guys want me to relay anything to those committees, please let me know in time for the next meetings. Also, I had a meeting last week with Dean Quamos of the Liberal Arts, College of Liberal Arts, and he's really excited to be supporting SGA. He's a new dean for this year and it's his first time doing it. So he really wants students to interact with him and for them to let them know about their initiatives. So if you guys want any support from him, you can reach out to him or I can reach out to him myself. And also, hopefully I will be having my academic affairs office hours set up by the end of spring break so I can do that for you guys. And with that, I yield.
Amazing. Department of Campus Activities.
Everybody, so CAB is having an event tonight, a virtual paint night with speed painter Evan Struck at 7 p.m. So definitely come out if you want to win a free painting from him. Also this whole week is CAB week, so we're promoting applications for next year. So if you have any friends who you think would be good for the board. Definitely tell them to come out. Lastly, this Friday, we're having a special Tiger Fest announcement, so just definitely stay tuned to our social media. So with that, I yield.
That's so exciting. Okay, thank you so much. Department of Civic Engagement.
Hello, everyone. Last night I had the political roundtable event and it went pretty well. So that was exciting. And thank you all for coming out if you were able to. Hopefully we will still continue to be in contact with all the organizations to see how the conversation can keep going and how we can best support them. And then I just have a couple events that I'm thinking about for the rest of the year. And I have one with, it was not recorded. It was, yeah. Oh, that was direct message. Hi. Yeah, no, it was not a recorded event. But yeah, and with that, I yield.
Thank you so much for all the work you're doing, Director Fishkind. All right, Department of Communications.
No report.
And Department of Community Outreach.
Yes, so I will be speaking for Director Brown. He says the Pot of Gold Sign Up Genius will be sent out on Thursday before pre-meeting. Pot of Gold is an initiative we are doing to celebrate the amazing dining staff at Towson. If you are available the week after spring break, please sign up and join us to surprise them with goodies and gratitude. And with that, he yields.
That was so cute. Okay, I hope you all sign up. I'm really excited. All right, Department of Diversity and Inclusion.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. I hope you all's midterms are going as well as possible. So I'm actually going to be meeting with the directors of the CSD and things of that nature. And I also am going to be meeting with Leah Cox, well, Dr. Cox, just as like my one-on-ones permit. And so if you all have any questions, like student concerns or anything like that that you have pertaining to the center, feel free to certainly let me know, because I will definitely make sure to mention those in my meeting so that there can just be some clear and concise and accurate information being given around what's happening in the CSD and just like diversity and inclusion overall at Towson. In addition to that, Not at TU is approaching. So also all of my fellow colleagues, friends, anybody, please certainly let me know and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about Not at TU. Also, if you want to be a part of Not at TU, if you have any recommendations for Not at TU, all things Not at TU, please, please, please email me. There are certainly emails that I am more excited to answer. I love all emails, wink, wink, but not really, but hey, we'll say that. But Not at TU emails, please, please, please definitely send them to me, because I'm really excited to plan this and I want to make sure that I'm getting you all's input, advice, direction, all things Not at TU. And I believe that is it. So with that, I yield.
I love all the energy today, guys. I just love how excited we are. Okay, Department of Health and Wellness.
Hi, everybody. I want to be mindful of everyone's time, so I'm going to try to go through my updates quickly. First thing is that the health center is giving away safe spring break kits. So anybody who plans on like going out, I mean, I hope you're not, or I hope you're being safe, but they really want to promote, just being safe during spring break. So they're going to be handing out free kits. You do have to register for them, and you can find the link at Involved at TU, because they want to make sure everyone who's registering are able to pick up the kits from the health center. But yes, you can find that Involved at TU. And so they're going to be having the kits, everyone can pick them up on Friday, but they're a limited amount. So you want to make sure that you're picking them up or registering to pick one up quickly. And then another thing I want to promote is an event that I'm co-sponsoring along with CSD and the health center. And that is happening next Tuesday, March 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m. On Zoom. So it's Talks, Sex, and Destigmatizing STDs with Goody Howard. She's a really popular sexologist and educator. So definitely come out to that if you can, or part of it. And another thing is Dr. Patricia Bradley did really good at her presentation today. And I know there were a lot of questions and a lot of follow-up questions that, I think we could all benefit from getting more information of. So we're actually working with her to have her do a Title IX session for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So all of that is still in the works of being planned, but that's just something I want to put on the radar. And with that, I yield.
Thank you so much. I didn't even know there was such thing as a sexologist, but wow, this is all so exciting, guys. You guys are great. Alrighty, Department of Higher Education.
Hi, everyone. Not too much to report, kind of just like a continuation of my report last week. So a committee has been started for my virtual arts integration marathon. We're having our first meeting this Friday. It is open to anybody who wants to sit on the committee or just wants to hear more about this event. Just let me know if you want to come sit in on a meeting. I can share the Zoom link with you guys. Also, yes, for that event, we have some performers. Yeah, we have some performers from Carver High School and Towson University so far. But if you know some amazing artists, please just point them in my direction. I would love to showcase their talents and have them perform in the event. I also was able to connect with the Baltimore City District Office, and they are more than interested in, attending the event and participating with us, hopefully partnering, fingers crossed. So yeah, that's awesome. Pray for me. I hope we can get them to partner with us. I think that's everything. With that, I yield.
So exciting about the arts. We love it. We love to hear it. Okay, Department of Legislative Affairs.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're all having a great Tuesday. So I have just kind of been going through emailing legislators to kind of try and see when their meeting times are. If anybody is willing to meet over spring break, I can kind of send a message in the group me to see, but I also don't want you guys to feel pressured to meet with legislators over spring break. I'm more than happy to organize stuff after. With that being said, I know that there are a lot of tests and exams and essays due right around this time, so don't forget to take care of yourselves. The weather's supposed to be really beautiful, so even just like going on like a walk helps. You're all doing amazing work, and with that, I yield.
Thank you so much for that gentle reminder, Director Christofka. All right, Department of Special Projects.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. I will drop that in the group me and promote that to everyone. Thank you so much, Courtney, for that. And promote that to everyone, whoever you want. Organizations, there's awards for organizations, individuals, all that good stuff. Second is make sure you're submitting awards after we come back from spring break. It's like April and then it's like the end of school, but like in April and May, there's so many events. But we also have a deadline, like the event deadline, 3 to 4 weeks ahead. So make sure you're following that deadline so it's not the week after spring break and we're having 20 meetings a week. And last thing is actually, we have talked about in-person events. So if anyone is starting to think about in-person events, there are a lot of limitations, but I have attended some, helped plan some. So if you guys want to, the limit for inside is 10 people, including the people working it, and the limit for outside is 25, including the people working. So if you want to do something, it's totally rangeable. So just, put that on your platter if you're like in Towson area. And with that, I yield.
All right, we are cruising. Okay, Department of Marketing. Yes, platter. All right, Department of Student Organizations.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Thank you all for your cooperations with the senatorial assignments and miscommunication issues. I've been collaborating with multiple departments to get an official SGA account to send emails from our department moving forward. Senator Eaglin and I will be collaborating in order to get you guys the information you need. So look out for emails that are specifically marketed specifically marked student organizations or weekly updates in the subject. As for organization meetings, the time for making up any meetings has closed in the official capacity. Any questions about fulfilling these requirements now will be determined on a case basis. So if you have not marked any organizations that you met with in the Google Doc that is shared at this point, please have them meet with Maya Hogarth via Sign Up Genius or email her. With that, I yield, and the Sign Up Genius is in the chat.
Thank you so much. And Department of New Student Development.
Hi, everyone. Okay, this is the second time I'm doing this. So Director Moody says, happy Target Tuesday. Not much to report this week. Freshman Council is taking a slight break to prepare for midterms. We are gearing up after spring break, where we will have 6 events in April and 1 in May. Please stay tuned for more information, and I hope you all can support. Thank you, and please be safe during spring break. She also wants to shout out the Department of Special Projects for being so helpful with Freshman Council.
Shout out to Freshman Council. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, shout out to Freshman Council. You all are amazing. Okay, and Director Moody. Okay, so now we'll move on to Towson University Northeastern representative. If you all have any reports or just want to say hi.
No report, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself. I'm Kristen. I'm the vice chair. Sorry about the awkwardness.
You're not awkward. It's fine. And if you are, that's perfectly cool. So am I. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's so nice to officially meet you. But
Yeah.
yes, thank you so much for joining us. All
Thank
right,
you.
Maryland Higher Education Council representative.
Hi again. We didn't meet this week, so no report.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember the dates in my head. All right, Athletic Affairs representative. Is representative? No. Okay, that's fine. All righty, now we'll move to Freshman Council representative.
Thank you everyone for hyping us up, but no report.
It's okay. All right, thank you so much. Do well on your midterms. All righty, Office of the Solicitor General.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. So I'm still in the process of planning the comic book festival. I'll be reaching out to some of you about collaborating and just spreading the word about that. Sorry. I also just want to ask if anyone knows like any organizations that are geared towards kids, middle school, high school, if you could send them my way. I also would like to invite them. I'm also working on Know Your Rights. If anyone would like to help with that, please let me know. And with that, I yield.
All right. Oh, that's me. Please hold on 1 second. I'm gonna stop sharing for 2 seconds, everybody. But yes, so I hope you all are enjoying all of the campus resources that we've been presenting. For the next General Assembly, which will be the immediate week following spring break, we'll have Victoria Napper giving a parking study presentation, as well as Wesley Forsyth. And I'm not sure which department that is, but we do have 2 guest speakers again. So just so you all have a heads up, we're excited to let you all know all of the great resources we have within the university and within our surrounding community. But with that, some things like President DeYoung, I feel like I want to say, but we can't say just yet. So that's fine. But yeah, that is it. With that, I yield. And we do not have any bills for today, but I'll just further emphasize, please submit legislation to be written. We all know you have wonderful ideas, so please do. Okay, are there any opinions of the court?
There are no opinions of the court, and with that, I yield.
Amazing, thank you so much. Are there any motions on the floor? Or, I'm sorry, any announcements? Okay, if they haven't been said already, I don't know what y'all been sleeping doing. Anyway, okay. Are there any motions on the floor? We just
Senator
need one.
Teddy, I move to adjourn.
It only takes one. Okay. I'm sorry, that was a TikTok. Is there a second?
Senator Nixon, I second.
And if I could just say, I move that you all have a relaxing spring break. Please relax.
I
yourself.
second. I
I
second that. Who
Okay.
seconded the motion?
Sorry.
Everybody seconded the motion. It's
Y'all have
okay.
to relax in spring break. Good to see y'all. Bye-bye.
In the minutes, just pick any of the senators. I think they all seconded it. But anyway, we're gonna say Senator Thaxton for the minutes, but all in favor to adjourn if there's no discussion.
I move that Madam Dion needs to smile right now.
Smiled like
We do not.
4 times today.
No, I'm looking at you. I can see you.
Y'all, I just got sad. Let me explain. It's because when you said have a great spring break, I thought about the fact that my professor this morning said, I hope you guys have a very de-stressing spring break, and then gave us a project. So
see, don't do that.
We don't like that. But wait, point of order. Point of order.
You take away from my motion, Madam President. I said I move.
Point of order.
Great spring break. You can't do that now. Look at you.
No one's listening to me. It's fine. All opposed? Abstaining? All right, it's unanimous. Meeting adjourned.
My bad. We're still live, aren't we? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes we gotta spice things up a little.